FMS turned a great looking truck into a great driving truck. Let's have a look at the new FCX18 Chevrolet K10 pickup. Combining a great looking body with a great chassis design sure seems like a recipe for one awesome 1/18 scale crawler. A few years back, FMS released this 1/18 scale Chevrolet K10 pickup. This truck caught my eye right from the start, but I held off on purchasing one until I saw a number of FMS products in person at the Ultimate Scale Truck Expo. I was really impressed with the quality and performance relative to the price. It turns out FMS had contacted me months prior asking if I wanted to review some of their products, and well, at this point, needless to say, I'm pretty impressed with their selection of RC models. The original K10 is no exception. It's an awesome looking model, especially if you take the time to add a few details as I've done here. The performance is nothing amazing, but certainly a solid truck that I still enjoy taking out onto the trails. Fast forward to just last year, and FMS released this all-new platform, the FCX18. Well, I say all new, but this platform really shares many parts with the prior FCX24, such as the 2-speed transmission and portal axles, though it also features metal links, oil-filled shocks right from the factory, along with a full light kit installed on this great-looking Toyota Land Cruiser hardbody. Well, a new version of the FCX18 has arrived. And look, I'm not going to leave you hanging, it's a great model top to bottom. Let's get this rig unboxed and have a closer look at what's inside. No surprise, this officially licensed truck comes well packed in the usual reusable styrofoam case and includes everything you'll need to get this truck up and running except for the AAA batteries for the transmitter. A manual is included, filled with lots of useful information, especially if you are a beginner or you plan to take the truck apart. You also get a wheel wrench and a USB charger for the LiPo battery, as well as some license plate decals, some cable clips, and a tow hitch. More on that tow hitch in just a bit. The truck comes fully ready to run and looks great right out of the box. When ordering, you will have the choice of 3 different color combinations. The only issue is trying to decide which one to choose from. I think they all look great, and I really like the two-tone look on this era of Chevy pickup. As I've talked about and made videos about before with that prior K10, a little bit of detail painting such as on the grille and the body trim will really enhance the appearance of this truck, but even if you don't plan to modify this truck in any way, it's still a good looking model. This body looks pretty much identical to the prior K10. I do notice a few tweaks around the backside of the front wheel arches and some holes in the bed, but overall pretty much the same body, and it appears everything on the body will be interchangeable. Accessories such as our 3D printable bed cap and toolbox will of course fit this new FCX18 version of the K10. A dashboard and steering wheel is present, but not a full interior nor any front inner fenders. The windows are not blacked out, but they are heavily tinted to help hide the inside. I believe an optional shallow interior piece and clear windows will be made available for purchase separately from FMS. Now, one thing to note with these bodies is that the side view mirrors, which look great and actually contain real mirrors, are made of a hard plastic with basically no give. When you're driving one of these trucks, you really have to be careful not to break them off. The tailgate goes down and clips solidly into place, and the hood opens, which is where you'll find the battery. To remove the body, you will need to unscrew some fasteners, including some crosshead screws. Removing the body, though, is not necessary to change the battery and turn the truck on, simply raise the hood. Just like with the Toyota, this one comes with an identical 900 mAh 2S LiPo. This battery will provide plenty of runtime, as proven with the prior LC80, but looking under the hood of the Chevy, there's so much more room that it looks like you could modify this section to house an even larger battery if you wanted to. Even more runtime and putting a little more weight up front might be a nice upgrade to try out. Turning the truck over to have a look underneath, it will look very familiar to current FCX24 and FCX18 owners. Longer links in the rear, of course, and technically that Y-link up front is the usual plastic, so I guess it would be inaccurate to say it has full metal links, but all of the other suspension and string links are metal. I appreciate that they actually extended the one-piece frame rails all the way to the end of the bed. You're also getting full ball bearings in all areas of the driveline, oil-filled shocks along with metal portal gears and a metal gear steering servo, and of course those portal axles and the 2-speed transmission. Overall, there's a lot to like with this chassis. It feels solid, and they did a good job of keeping the weight up towards the front of the vehicle. Obviously that big hard body along with the portal axles do impact the center of gravity, but as you'll see, even in stock form, this truck performs great, probably somewhat thanks to this truck's relatively long wheelbase. Once again, this is the same transmitter included with the prior FCX18 Toyota LC80. You've got dip switches up top to adjust things such as your drag brake intensity, you've got the 3-position switch on the side to shift between low and high gear, and the channel 4 button to cycle through the different light settings. Again, a solid transmitter, easy to drive one-handed, put in 4 AAA batteries, and you're ready to go. Now comparing this new FCX18 K10 to the old one, probably the first thing you'll notice is the new version sits much higher. Not only that, but it has larger wheels and some buff Goodricher mud terrain TA tires. I thought that was kind of funny. The wheel diameter is right around 35mm, which seems like a bit of an unusual size, but the axles do have the standard 7mm hexes, so if you want to swap those out for some more conventional 1.0 wheels, you can certainly do that. Obviously, some hobbyists may prefer the more factory stance of the prior version K10. That FCX18 chassis has the body jacked up pretty high, but regardless of how you think it looks, I don't think there will be any denying that this new version is much more of an off-roader, as you'll soon see. Here's a little side-by-side comparison to a FCX24 K5 Blazer and a FCX18 Toyota LC80. I know the FCX24 Blazer is advertised as a 24th scale vehicle, but as you can see it's pretty close to the 18th scale one. Actually, if you do the measurements on these vehicles, they aren't that far out of scale with one another. The lights on this new K10 are better than the old one. Yeah, the turn signal's always coming on when steering is a bit undesirable, but at least they got the brake lights right. When the headlights are on, they glow, and when the brake is applied, they shine brighter. I quickly want to showcase the optional trailers sold by FMS. Using the included tow hitch, you can mount these trailers to the back of your K10 pickup, just like you can with the prior Toyota LC80. Now, I don't see any place where you can attach the safety chains to, like you can on that LC80, at least not without any modifications, but who needs those anyways? It's actually pretty fun pulling around these trailers, especially if you put some weight in them, as it really makes the driving experience more of a challenge. Enough talking at the bench though, let's go ahead and get this truck out onto the trails. First, I gotta give a big shout out to the Ohio weather. We get to film snowy shots such as this, and warm dry shots such as this less than 24 hours apart. Talk about variety. This truck is an absolute joy to drive, and it's been somewhat interesting as this is the longest wheelbase FCX series vehicle I've driven so far. I can definitely tell that in some situations, it really helps this truck get over certain obstacles, though of course there are some downsides to a longer wheelbase, such as the turning radius being larger. In certain scenarios though, it outperformed both the FCX18 Toyota LC80 and my custom FCX24 Lemur. The 2-speed transmission once again proves to be an awesome feature. In high gear it'll go faster than a typical walking pace, and in slow gear there's plenty of torque and modulation for some nice slow crawling. There is however some slop in the drivetrain, which is a bit undesirable. I really like the ability to instantly adjust the drag brake right from the transmitter using the 2 far right dip switches. When I'm driving down a smooth trail to the rocks, I can turn that drag brake off to let the truck coast a bit. Once I get to the rocks, I can flip the switches either to get partial or full drag brake, and instantly it's ready to go. The fact this truck has such a high ride height means that it does well over roots and other annoying obstacles. Of course there is room for improvement if you want to take the performance of this truck even higher. Honestly though, I think out of the box this truck is really solid and quite capable. I guess if I had to summarize the new FCX18 Chevrolet K10, especially to those already familiar with FMS products, it's basically exactly what you expect. Or maybe, at least in my case, it's actually a bit better than what I thought it might be. They combined a great looking body with the well-loved FCX platform. What you get is a truck that looks great, performs well, and can be had for what I anticipate will be a very good value. While understandably the die-hard scale guys may nitpick things such as the portal axles and axle-mounted steering servo, I think you have to understand this truck is trying to strike a balance of off-road performance combined with a detailed hardbody. Some sacrifice in the lifelike appearance is made to make the truck more of a driver. Trust me, I really like the first version of this truck with its conventional straight axles and more stock ride height, but this new FCX18 version is definitely a more refined platform and will be much better suited either for trail driving at a walking pace or climbing over more difficult rocky terrain. I think there's also a lot more potential here to build something even more capable or go all out with a custom build, with plenty of upgrades being available for the FCX series platform. At the time of making this review, I'm not sure what the price will be, but assuming they're able to keep it close to the price they currently sell their FCX18 Toyota LC80 for, which is about $180 US, I think that would be a pretty good deal, especially with just how well this truck performs out of the box. I'm looking forward to getting this rig back out onto the trails, so I'm going to conclude today's video right here. If you're interested in purchasing one of these vehicles, I have included the link below in the description, but until next time, thank you all very much for watching.